ready for the grimiest and grittiest of all podcasts, pro wrestling, music, and entertainment, is the Ewokk and JB Show.
Yo, what is cracking? It's your boy, the Ewokk, and this is the Ewokk and JB Show. You already know how we getting it. We getting close. We getting close to the next CCW event. We're a month away. You know what I'm saying? We got some crazy shit right now. Money in the Bank is on. I'm watching that. We got a very special guest tonight. Very, very, very special. I've been waiting for this. We got Paragon on the show. What's cracking, brother?
What up?
Man.
I ain't gonna do you like I do Steve and shit. We're just gonna say it's the world star Paragon up in this piece. And I'm happy to be here. I'm chilling with the homies and shit. So this is all good. Cause I love that I can say whatever the fuck I want to say on this motherfucker.
Yeah, man. We unfiltered, bro.
Yeah, we're off the fucking rails on this one.
Like I always say, hey, you cancel yourself. I don't cancel you. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, you know what? We in the wrestling business. Motherfuckers keep trying to cancel me, and guess what? Every time they cancel me, their woman hits uncancel. So keep on doing what y'all want to do, and I'll keep doing what I do. Shit.
Yeah, man. Fucking you. Did you wrestle this weekend? You had any events or anything going this weekend?
This past weekend, I took the weekend off. I decided that this was a weekend of recuperation. Though Paragon loves the ladies, I have a special lady, and she was gone to Jamaica for a whole week. So when she came back, let's just say we was locked in a room for about like 28 hours.
Goddamn. see, this is the Paragon. This is what I've been saying, motherfuckers. This is Paragon. This is really him. Like, this ain't no goddamn character.
Yeah, like I tell people, like, a lot of people be like, "Oh, well, why'd you change your gimmick?" I'm like, I didn't. I grew up. Like, people see who I was when I was the Walking Apocalypse. That's because that's who I was. I was somebody who was angry at the world. I was somebody who had the kind of this, as my friend calls it, Michael Myers in type rage, where you can keep on hitting me, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. But as the world changes, so do people. And during that time period, I was always a ladies' man, but I don't know what happened. That pandemic, I started getting pandemic pussy just flew at me this way and that way. It was just like a fucking slingshot. And I was like, yo, like, let me just fully be myself, And part of the issue is, in wrestling, there's characters, there's gimmicks, and there's personas, right? I look at gimmicks and characters as like acting, when somebody has a gimmick, it's like method acting. That's why they say live in the gimmick. It's method acting. You get lost into it. You're committed to it. You get so deep into it that it's a thin line between who you are and who the character is. It's a hard separation, but there's still a chance that you can walk away from it, depending on how deep you fall into it. But then you have characters where you're just simply playing a role, and you may be good at that role you're playing, but people can kind of tell that, this ain't really you. But then there's personas, and a persona is just an extension of you. It's just a heightened version of you. It's you plus. It's you turned all the way up. You look at Triple H, you look at The Rock, you look at the American Badass Undertaker, you look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin is Steve Williams turned up. The Rock is Dwayne Johnson turned up. That's a persona. Whereas, you can argue that the Dead Man Undertaker is a gimmick. Me, Mark Calloway, learned how to make that shit work. He learned how to make that shit, seem like, okay, where's this line, whatever. But then you got guys like when Jack Swagger was doing the whole We the People thing, right? That was more of a character, Yeah, he was really getting into it. He was good at the character, but you could tell he wasn't fully committed. The shit he's doing now as Jake Hager, he's more committed to, because it's more close to what he is doing with his life. And so when people see me, the whole, when I say 23 positions and 1,000 submissions, like, no, I got an MMA background, and I am Mr. Steal Your Girl long drip style, all night, drive a wild, give it back to you, make you say thank you. That's not a joke. Like, and people think I'm joking. Like, I've done some wild shit in this business with some wild people. Like, I hate to admit it, but like there was probably like a 9-month span. Like I was sleeping with this dude's wife, and she would go right back to him and cook him dinner and shit and stuff like that after doing some of the foulest things with me. One time at a wrestling show that was at a venue, her and I did some stuff, and I don't know who's gonna see this, so I'm not gonna tell you where the venue is. I'm gonna just say that, you know, our Father who art in heaven, how to be there. I'm just gonna say we was doing some crazy wild stuff and sent her right back to her husband, you know. And
Jesus
granted,
Christ.
I was not the greatest headspace when I was doing that shit, so I'm not proud of it. But
I'm in a great headspace. Can I hang out with you one time?
let's do it. Let's shit. I've been waiting. Shit. No, but for real, this is the life I live. Like I was telling my lady the other day, because our whole thing's about transparency. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, don't lie to me. We're gonna be completely honest. You know, before her and I got together, I've been in polyamorous relationships, I've been in open relationships, you know. And no matter whether you're in a monogamous, a poly, or open relationship, communication and honesty is key. You can still cheat in them situations, you feel me? And so her and I are in a monogamous relationship, and I still tell her, I'm like, yo, like I had this chick send me some nudes, or I had this couple, you know, send me some shit, and they're like, you won't get in. I'm like, I'm good, y'all. Why is it winking at me? Just put that, you know, like I'm honest, you know. I talked to her, I communicated with her, but you know, for anybody who thinks like, you know, oh, this is a game, you can ask my lady. Like there are people that they throw themselves at me so deep, it's not even funny. Like I'll be over here just chilling out at, you know, at the 9 to 5, minding my own business. I'm titties. Oh, titties. Let me just get past that real quick. Y'all didn't see that, right? Okay, cool. Just let me. Oh, and there's vagina. I didn't realize there was two. I didn't realize there was. Oh, toys. I'm gonna save this. Y'all just turn your heads away. I just want to see what's going on right here. You know, it's. But they think it's a gimmick, and I'm like, okay, think what you want to, but you piss me off. Your girl will find out it's not a gimmick.
Jesus Christ. Man, this might be the steamiest fucking episode of
This
Ewokk.
this is the Paragon CCW's getting. Just saying.
Yes. I'm in love with it, man. When it goes back to the beginning, how was your training?
Oh man, I to this day will say I had the best training in the world. You know, I trained at the House of Truth up in Centerline, Michigan, under Truth Martini and Paul Bowser. And when I tell you what I love about them, a lot of wrestling schools teach you moves. They don't teach you why we do moves. They don't teach you the reason behind stuff. Like they'll teach you the international, right? But they won't explain to you why we drop down. They won't explain to you why we leapfrog. They won't explain to you, you know, why we do certain things. No. They teach you at the House of Truth. And what's funny is like when I first got in the business, like I would tell people I trained at House of Truth, and you'd be like, "Word? Oh shit, you would tell." I'm like, why is everybody treated like, you know, I accomplished some like really heavy, hard shit. But then like I started going to other people's training schools, and I realized how different theirs was. And I'm like, maybe mine is considered grueling or something. I'm like, because you know, my training school, it was 4 days a week, 4 hours a week. You weren't allowed to get into the ring with until you did 25 push-ups, 25 Hindu squats, 25 sit-ups, 25 jumping jacks. And then you had to start off the day with a drill and end the day with that same drill, which normally people would get blown up with, because how it starts off, so it's 3 forward rolls, but after each forward roll, you jump back one. So you start from one corner of the ring, forward roll, jump back, forward roll, jump back, forward roll, and then you would do 3 up and overs on each side of the ropes, and then backwards roll, jump forward, backwards roll, jump forward, backwards roll, 3 right arm lucha rolls, 3 left arm lucha rolls, handstand bump, front bump, face bump, back bump, 10 ropes, 10 turnbuckles, and then that's how you start class, and that's how you end class every single day for 12
What's that
weeks,
drill
4
called?
days a week.
Is it like 4x4 or what? I forgot the name of that drill.
We just called it the warm up. That's what we call that.
Yeah. Like we like normally with like Shogun trains us that like similar to that way, like more footwork based and more, you know, just this army style. But like if he's not there and like nobody else is there but me, I'm running him like it's a New Japan camp. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
we doing squats, we doing 300 squats, we doing all the Hindu push-ups, we running the ropes like mad, we're doing leg raises, calf, you know, we doing all that shit. But yeah, like sometimes like training is, I feel like training is very, very key. There's a lot of wrestlers they feel like, hey, I'm 6 years in the business, I don't need to train anymore. And I feel like it shows. It shows. It's just like, yeah, you've worked for 15 years, but have you seen a school yet? Like everybody needs to be affiliated with some type of school, even see once a week. And like
That's one thing that with COVID-19, with the whole pandemic and everything being shut down, you can tell who actually went to the schools to knock off the rust and who didn't. You could see it in the in-ring action. Like there's some guys that's like, yeah, I've been doing it for 16 years. And it's like, you're rusty as a fucking old spoon found at grandma's house under some old sink. Like, come on, man, knock that stuff off. It doesn't, if you have like some of these guys in Chicago, I don't get. We have like what 3-4 wrestling schools in the city of Chicago alone.
And a
No
lot
reason
of
for
them,
somebody not having
and
rest on.
and a lot of them, shout out to CSW too. I think they have like 3 schools in that facility.
Yeah, it's CSW with Boz, Jimmy Blaze with Powell, and Yakuza with Lucha Libre.
Yeah, and then
you
and
know what
like
makes me mad about that is you have like when you say like people in the Chicago area and they have schools, like then you look at places like Ohio. Until recently, you had to travel, at least in the area where I'm at. You had to travel to get to a school, a facility, a training center, or whatever, just to put work in. So, or even like once again, you got to travel to find a weekly show in Ohio. There's some places that have a weekly show in their backyard. And where I'm located, you have to travel, you have to put the work in. You don't just have something like at your fingertips to be handed to you. So to hear that, there's a place in Chicago where they don't just have a school,
got
they
3
have
fucking schools.
multiple fucking schools.
Yeah,
that's disappointing.
And it's crazy because like you don't see anybody, and like they're doing $20 a session, I think, at each school. Our school has $25 passes, and like I don't know what freelance is charging, but I think they have a day pass also for their drop in. And like we have a billion wrestlers here, and you like none of them are going to school. None of them are training. None of them are learning stuff. Like they like sometimes different people just stop in on the class from different schools. I ain't gonna say who because I ain't trying to get you in trouble, but they want to see what it's like to learn a different style of wrestling, because freelance, they're more American lucha based. Us, we're more old school style fucking pro wrestling. You know what I mean? CSW is a little bit more, they're a little bit of everything. So it's just like sometimes you got to learn like everything that's what's in your city, and people fail to do that. People just sit on their ass and, hey, I'm a pro wrestler, playing Halloween on weekends.
One of the big reasons why in the upcoming months, including into 2022, you're going to see a lot more Detroit-based House of Truth wrestlers coming into Chicagoland. It's because we're opening up the door to work with them a lot with their students too. So we'll be seeing a lot more of that Detroit style of wrestling.
Good. I like that shit. I like that shit because I don't know, man. I feel like spots should be taken now. Like I'm a workhorse, man. Wherever I go, I'm a work, bro. And I'm pretty sure Paragon is the same way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I feel like 2022 playing's over, man. Like, fuck all that shit. We bringing Chicago wrestling back, all of us.
Oh, for sure. And here's what like kills me. Like you said, like playtime's over and spots are getting taken. I mean, I remember when John was announcing, all these companies we're about to partner up with. And when the world opens back up with these, places we're partnering up with, we're going to start having talent that, are going to be going to those places. And seeing a lot of these dudes, I can't wait to be up in there and get my ticket and whatever. And I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't even leaving your house, let alone the country. Right? I ain't even trying to let your ass go down south to them promotions. You like, I know I ain't got to say, but at the same time, I look at it as your representation of me too. You feel me? And so it's like that's like one of the reasons why I really fuck with Chris Logan is because with him being the champion of Chicagoland, he's a representation of everyone in Chicagoland. Yeah, there may be some people that, are also in Chicagoland. They may not quote unquote look the part. They may not do the work that we want them to do and stuff like that. But at the same time, with them quote unquote not looking the part, whatever, our champion is exemplary and exceptional of what we actually represent. You can cut off dead weight. You know, if you look at Chicagoland as a body, yeah, you can work out to, you know, get rid of the body fat all you want to, but you can't get rid of the head. If the head's not there, if the head's not in the place the head needs to be, then the whole body fails. Just like if the heart, I would say, the heart of the company is you, John, and the face of the company, the head of the company, the brain of the company that everybody gets to see and that's to look towards as the leader and the guidance is, you know, Chris. And I see him being that leader, and I see those of us that are watching that lead, appreciating that lead, letting him take that lead. And then I see those of us who are resting on laurels or thinking that the buddy system mindset is going to keep them going. It's going to keep giving them a spot. And like you said, there's going to be people coming in from Michigan. There might be people coming in from other places. There might be people coming in from other companies. And
that's happening.
You can tell who are the people on the roster that are going to stay because they're the ones that are putting in the work. They're the ones that aren't just traveling, because, you know, that's great to see people that are traveling and getting work outside of that, but it's also the people that are putting the work in with the company. They're sharing the flyer. They're actually showing up and you know, when they're helping set up, they're helping tear down, they're shaking hands, they're promoting the show, getting a promo to you when asked. Like,
shit, promo to John without being asked, or hit me up for, you know, for filming without being asked.
Like you saw people who do that, I praise them the hell and high back for doing that.
Like when me and the crew did our promo for you when we was in the suits and stuff, and I told you, I'm like, we don't want to just cut a regular promo for you. We want to do something different. We want to do something dope. We want to do something real. You know, like you just said, I just need a promo. And so, yeah, oh yeah, I saw. But like, yeah, like you know what I'm talking about, Walk? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. 3 ain't enough, man. I need 5. But yeah, it just, I've got really big on this mindset that I have recently. When I first was in getting the wrestling business, I wanted everybody to eat. I wanted everybody to be successful. My mindset was, if we all eat and we're all successful, one, we don't have reason for egos. We don't have reason for issues and to be mad. We don't have reason to wonder if we've made it, because we are going to make, because the business is going to grow. It's going to push. It's going to be better, right? And then that mindset that I had was causing people to eat off my plate. Yeah. That mindset I had was causing people to feed off of me, to leech off of me, to keep putting a fork on my plate. And I was realizing I was starving. I was getting malnourished. And then when I would look to be fed back, I was being called selfish, or I was being abandoned. I was being told wasn't even being told to leave the table. I was being told to leave the house altogether. And that's when I got the mindset of, as of late, and I probably say the past year, of like, you know, nobody gets to eat before I do. I eat first, then I say you can eat. If you don't like it, sit your ass at the kiddie table or wind your ass up in the trunk, you know? And here's my thing. I'm not saying I don't want you to eat. I'm not saying I don't want you to eat. But I'm tired of letting people eat off of me and then thinking, oh, well, I'm going to eat first. And no. You want to eat first? Outwork me. You want to eat first? Have better ring gear than me. You want to eat first? Cut a better promo than me. You want to eat first? Put on the better bangers than I do. You want to eat? There's a whole list of things in boxes you got to check off if you want to eat before I do. And if you can't check off every goddamn box, then sit your ass at that kiddie table if you want to be mad.
Jesus Christ. And just to go off of that, like, I feel like I've been dealing with that same thing also, and I've had to distance myself and play. Like people see you get bookings. People see you, you know, just getting up and just staying active. Sometimes people's like, hey, Des, can you take me to Orlando with you? Hey, Des, can you take me to Texas with you? I was like, yo, that's not like my position. Like you could come with me. It doesn't mean you're going to get a, like,
I remember when you first started like taking bookings. Yeah. That's where we met. And I remember when you first started out, I was like, oh, it's just Ewokk. And now it's Ewokk. Hey, man, you know, like now you got all those people kissing up to you.
Yeah, like I don't mind it, but it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, like I just got to this company. Like, why are you asking? You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't, let me get my foot in the door first and let me establish myself first, and then let's get it cracking. And I get some of the boys in there. But it's just like I can't, like everybody's so hungry for bookings, but like people still have to realize that maybe this company works the style that fits the Ewokk. It might not be a company
Exactly.
that fits your style, because when I go to Tennessee, they're strictly Southern style, old school wrestling. If I take somebody that's a straight up
Super
lucha,
indie.
yeah, like if I get a spot monkey up there, it's not gonna work, because you know that's not how they wrestle that way.
And there's also a difference between asking for a booking and asking for an opportunity. And I think that's what kills me. It's one thing to be like, hey, I see you're going to be at this area. Can I hop in the car with you? You know, it's another thing to, hey, can you get me on the show? Hop in the car with you. I'm showing face. I'm helping set up. I'm helping tear down. I might do security. If they have a match for me, cool. But the point is, I'm showing them I was willing to travel from where I traveled from to show face. But when people come in, can you help me get this booking? I'm still trying to get my damn booking. Shit. Like,
Yeah,
goddamn.
and that's where I'm at, dog.
And you made a really good point about, you know, being a good fit for places, right? Like, there's this one company that it's a pretty nice, and up and coming, pretty big indie company. A lot of people want to work for that company. I have friends that work for that company. And I had one of my friends ask me, like, how come you never like sent them a message or an email to work for them? And I'm like, because I don't think their style fits me. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like, though I can do super indie, to me, they're a super indie company. I'm character based. I want to make you care, you know?
Yeah.
I want to tell a story. Can you tell a story doing super indie stuff? Depends. Depends on who you're working with. But with me, I feel like I can make you care enough that I can get the same pop off of my headlock that you can get off your shooting star plus 450 flippy cheeseburger green shoe 3000 destroyer, whatever the hell you're trying to do. I feel like I can get the same pop off of that. And if I can, that means that there's certain places I'm just not a good fit, because some people want you to do that super indie style and some people don't. I'll give you a prime example. So not this current weekend, but last weekend, um, I had a match with the company's heavyweight champion. I was putting my US title on the line and my undefeated streak at that company on the line against his heavyweight title. If I won, I'd be the heavyweight champion, the US champion, still undefeated, and I would also be the first person in that company's history to be Triple Crown champion, because I would have held all three of the company's titles, right? And with that company, it's very character based. It's very interacting with the crowd. That crowd they're not really wrestling fans. They're fans that happen to be there for a wrestling show. So they want to see the circus. They want to be entertained. They want to be interacted with. They want to be involved. So doing all the cool, cute, super indie moves don't really do stuff for them. It's nice, but it doesn't really do anything for them.
Yeah.
But what does do something for them is actually, being engaged and actually, caring and making the moves matter. Not the moves matter, it's making what you do matter.
Yes.
And then there was another match that was on that card where they were getting very super indie and the crowd was dead silent. Now, from like, a wrestler standpoint, the match was sound. From a wrestler standpoint, the match was dope. But it doesn't matter what the boys think if the fans ain't into it. Because
The
who you trying
boys
to
will pay
pop?
the
Exactly. The boys ain't buying the tickets. The boys ain't putting money in your envelope. Yeah. Now I will say this: the boys may help you get bookings elsewhere. The boys may have even helped you get that booking, but you're not trying to please the boys. You're
Yeah.
trying to please the fans. You're trying to please the promoter, and the easiest way to please the promoter is to please the fans. Prime example: my match with the heavyweight champion at that show I was at went over. Like we went over our time, but they didn't care. because we had the fans the entire time. You know, I try not to go over my times. You know, I try to stick within them, but I know that there are more promoters that are willing to forgive you for, hey, at least you keep the fans, then you went under your time and the fans didn't care about your match. So we should have put you on the show to begin with.
Oh, fuck.
You know,
There are guys who do that shit, man. There's guys that literally go, yeah, promoter told me 8 minutes. I'm going to go 3. And it's
Oh, no.
like, it's like, no, bro,
Nah,
that's lazy. That's pure. That's just, there's a difference from working smart and just being lazy. There's a big difference. And I feel
nah.
like some of the guys, you know, I hate to say this, but back home, there was a lot of guys that would work lazy, but they think, oh yeah, man, I'm old school. I'm like, that's not old school. Old school, you would
that's
work the
just lazy.
crowd no matter what you're doing. If you're working a wrist lock, you're working the crowd while you're doing the wrist lock, and you're selling to the crowd, making people know, oh my God, he's breaking my wrist. You know, are you doing a whole lot of stuff? No, but you're working the crowd. But just putting a guy in a rest hold and then sitting there for 20 minutes, that's lazy.
Nah, that's lazy as shit.
Lazy
And
as
it's like,
Unless I will say this, unless you know how to do it. And the only reason why I say that is because
but
if
not
you
many
look
guys
at
do that.
old school wrestling, they didn't have to do all the theatrics we have to do now. Because that's something I also bring up. A lot of people talk about like, oh, well, why do you do this and why do you do that? Well, because we're in the GIF era of wrestling. Attention spans are so terrible now in our society that you do have to a lot of times do the fun, flashy things to catch people's attention. Unless you have the ability to make them care, then you don't have to do that because you're keeping their attention because they're invested. But once upon a time, rest holds was the whole damn match.
yeah.
You know, you'd watch a 45-minute barn burner of chain wrestling, and you were entertained. But there's a reason, like there's no shade at guys like this, but there's a reason why like guys like Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn, you know, didn't go as far as, you know, people today would appreciate and would have hoped. And it's because when they came about during a time where attention spans were dying down. And then you get, you know, other technical wrestlers, and they're probably the best wrestler on the show. Once again, you have to be able to keep people's attention because all the stuff you're doing may be cool. It may look good. It may look cute. But if it don't keep my attention, then why do I care? I look at it like my friend and I were talking about superhero movies. And I like DC superhero movies. He likes Marvel superhero movies. And I like both. But as I told him, I find myself more entertained watching DC than watching Marvel. And he's like, why? And I said, well, everything in Marvel may look pretty, but it's boring. The formula's tired. They're making the same movie and over and over and over again. For the last 20 plus years, they've been dominating the superhero genre to the point where they have kind of messed up the genre because anytime somebody tries something new, it's immediately called bad because it's not the same movie we've been used to. I'm like, where DC, yeah, there may actually be stuff that they dropped the ball on, but they're trying and they're trying something different. They're trying something new. If the movie is bad, I could say at least I enjoyed it. Like a lot of people hated Suicide Squad when the first one came out. And
It
I
was
was
all
like,
right.
I'm like, I enjoyed the movie. I saw now were there flaws? Yeah, there were definitely flaws because one, they had to change the movie because the studio made them do reshoots and relighting and crap like that because they wanted to try to compete with Guardians of the Galaxy. And if you kind of look at the movie is like, okay, what happens if the Avengers were criminals? That's kind of what the what Suicide Squad low key was, but I still enjoyed it. I found it charming. Uh, I watched the Snyder cut, and some people were like, even with the Snyder cut, it was still bad, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe the movie just wasn't made for you. Like, you know, maybe
Sure.
that's what it is. You know, like right now, everybody wants to jump on the whole
Space
hating on
Jam.
Space Jam. Yeah,
It's like I've been posting status. It's
Made
for
for
kids.
kids.
it's for
Made for
kids.
kids.
And they're like, no, y'all just love LeBron. I'm like, whether I do or not has nothing to do with the fact of it's a kids movie. I'm like, because when I tell you, my mom, my grandmother, and my aunt hated the original Space Jam because one, I played that shit to death, and two, they were like, that movie wasn't that good. They said Michael Jordan couldn't act. You know,
Oh,
it's like he was the Beyonce before Beyonce when it came to acting. He was somebody that got put in a movie, and you were like, wow, why are they okay? All right, at least Beyonce tried to do some growth. I won't give her love on the live action Lion King though. Her voice acting was not it.
Baseball and acting was not MJ's calling.
No, neither was passing, but
Yeah, that too. Give you that. Yeah.
But like I look at the new Space Jam movie and I'm like, honestly, I enjoyed it. I found it entertaining. And it's because I'm not pretending to be a movie critic. And I think that's the key thing. You got a lot of people that think they're these intellectual movie critics. And so I'm like, oh, well, that's funny because I graduated from college with a degree in film and screenwriting. So I know a thing or two about storytelling and movies and how scripts should be formatted. I just turned 26 last month, right? I've been acting since I was 3 years old. And so, with my acting background and my film and screenwriting background, I also ghost wrote a play that, is published and gets produced throughout the Midwest. Like they do shows for it. And so, I'm like, with that all being said, yeah, apparently I have terrible taste in stuff because I think this movie you hate is better than you're giving it credit for. Forget the fact that my favorite movie of all time is Get Out. Forget the fact that before Get Out was my favorite movie of all time and Queen and Slim became my number two. From the age of 3 until the age of 20, Silence of the Lambs and Pulp Fiction were my top 2 favorite movies of all time. And yes, I was 3 years old watching Silence of the Lambs and Pulp Fiction. I would start off the day with Space Jam, then go to Silence of the Lambs and Pulp Fiction. Then I would go to Flubber to take a break. Then I would go to Big Daddy, and then I would watch all the 90s Batman movies.
So my favorite movie of all time is Leon the Professional.
Good film.
That is my favorite movie of all time. Because I love the fucking villain and Gary Oldman and shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
He always listens to classical music and he's jamming out. He's going through killing people and shit. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's a drug addict on top of it,
I'm so sick of this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
You know what I normally do? Normally I can tell a lot about a person, especially like, if I'm talking to women and whatnot, or if I'm making friends with people, I always ask people, what is your top 5 favorite artists? What is your favorite album of all time? And what is your top 10 favorite movies? Because to me, it tells me a lot about people. It tells me a lot about who you are as a person, what shaped you in life, and it's anybody, it's anybody. Like the other day, there was this dude that I was forced to work with, and like I could not stand this dude. And I asked him, like, what's your favorite movie of all time? Like, what's your top 10? And he told me I'll give you my top 3. And so his number 1 is Blazing Saddles.
That was a good movie.
Okay. His movie. Number 2 is the 2000 Starsky and Hutch.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
That movie was garbage. Hot fucking garbage.
And his number 3 was Mallrats.
Okay. I that's a good number 3, to be honest with you.
But the thing is, though, it's such a diverse, like, Blazing Saddles, Starsky and Hutch. And then I was like, who's your favorite character in the Starsky and Hutch movie? And he was like, it's between Vince Vaughn and Snoop Dogg. They were probably my 2 favorites in that movie. And I'm like, they were probably 2 of the worst part. Okay. All right. Okay. But yeah, I feel like you could tell a lot about a lot of people. And I'm the type of person that I try to read people, not like because I want to. And it's some people like, oh, you reading me? You trying to tell me about myself? No, honestly, I'm trying to figure you out. I'm trying to assess you. I'm trying to figure out, is this conversation worth having? I'm trying to figure out if you're somebody worth talking to. I'm trying to figure out, like, because that's something that, when you have to communicate and interact with people on a daily basis, whether it's what I do outside of wrestling, because outside of wrestling, I'm a teacher, and I was actually helping at a training center. I was helping train people not that long ago. And then on top of that, I am a professional wrestler. So when you have to interact with people, whether it's students, whether it's fans, whether it's, man children that we call professional wrestlers, because man, there are some fucking kids with fucking driver's license that want to call themselves adults. I try to get a read of people, I mean, that's part of why, even in the ring, it's easy to do what I do. Because if I can figure out my opponent, if I can break them down, if I can, get that whole mindset of what's going on. Same with the audience. Oh, this audience member doesn't like the fact that in his eyes I dress feminine, right? All right, I'm gonna use that against him. I'm gonna use it to piss him off. Especially because he's mad that I look feminine and wants to use it against me. I'm like, but as soon as I stepped through that curtain, his wife's eyes lit up like it was Christmas. You know, and it's not even a matter of she could have been attracted. It could have been a matter of what is it I'm seeing? You know, what is this? What is this flashy thing? So now I'm like, you can be mad at me all you want to, baby. But if you look at the way she looked at me and the way she looks at you, I'd be mad at me too. Because while you were outdoing you, I've been outdoing you. And that's the difference between us, baby. Like there's just levels to it. There's ways you can do it. And I try to use that to read people, read situations, read the room. Because I also feel like if you don't, you set yourself up for L's.
Oh yeah. Have you ever read like full ass promotions? Because I do that shit all the time.
Yes, yes.
Because like I feel like, all right, cool. Like, all right, thank you. Somebody reaches out. It was like, hey, we want the Paragon or we want the Ewokk. Hey, it'd be a good fit. You get there and like, no.
See, I try to read promotions before I get there and honestly, sometimes I've read a promotion and didn't follow my instinct and then regretting it in the end.
No, like I've done that like the first year of my career because I was so eager to get a booking.
See, I was too eager to give people chances. Against my better wishes, I try to think the best of people because I feel like I know people are shit, but if you always think people are shit, then the world's going to be shitty. You're going to have a shitty outlook. So if you think, hey, this person didn't mean to do this, or maybe this is this or this is that, it makes things more bearable because if they surprise you, you'll feel better about it. But man, when I tell you, well, all right, here's my first key thing. And if anybody's watching that's a professional wrestler, here is number one to know if this promotion is shit or if the promoter / booker is shit. If you send them promo pics and they use a promo pic that not only you didn't send them, but it's so damn old, it doesn't even look like you, is it the gear you have or whatever, you don't need to work for that company. To me, that's number one. Because if I send you promo pics, and I'll give you a prime example. There's this company in Indianapolis. I sent them 7 promo pictures to pick from. And this was when I was still, doing the Walking Apocalypse. This was after the demigod, which all of them just evolutions of the same thing. I still got a god complex. It's good. So the women help with that issue. So, but I had this get up that I was wearing that I sketch out all of my gear. It's with maybe the exception like 2 or 3 things. Like everything you've ever seen me wear has been sketched out by me, and then I sent it to a gear maker. So I sketched out my very first pair of wrestling gear. And first of all, the chick didn't even design it correctly. Like she made her version of my gear. So that was already an issue. But I think what makes me more mad is that gear was so different, so old. I'm bigger. Like I was 190 pounds in the promo picture that I took. And I'm like, I float between 217 and 230, depending on, if it's bulking season or whatever. And so I'm like, you got this picture of this small, just childish like version of myself. And I send you all these promo pictures and my hair's longer, my gear's different, my look's different, I got size on me. And you choose a promo pic from 2 years prior. Like I send you promo pictures from the end of 2018 to the mid 2019. Why are you using promo pictures from 2017? So if a promotion is using old promo pictures, that's number one. Number 2, flyers. I know it's not always best to judge the quality of promotion on flyers, because I will say there have been times where I was on a show and the flyer was hot garbage, but the venue and the quality of talent was great. But 8 times, I'm not going to say 9 times, but 8 times out of 10, if the flyer is unprofessional, so is the promotion. Because it's the little things that shows you about people. But to me, a flyer is a big thing. So when you don't put care and effort into your big things, then it lets me know you don't care about the little things, which then makes you feel like everything else is a problem. The flyer is the advertisement. That is the stamp. That is the logo. That is the, we want people to come to our show. That is your commercial. So if this is the way that you are advertising, please come pay us and watch us do what we love. Then why the hell is your commercial going to be action shot of guy while he's breathing out and he's exhaling? Action shot of girl who is actually not in wrestling but was at a barbecue and we couldn't find her promo picture she sent us, so we're using this sexy barbecue picture. Action shot of this old guy who probably should have retired 20 years ago and wasn't properly trained, but we're still going to put him on our flyer because he's our company's champion. Action shot of masked wrestler who's masked because he won't quit his meth habit and his teeth are so bad that we don't want you to see them.
Here's another one too. You look at some of these really bad flyers. They don't even cut out the green screen in the back. They just like put the green screen right there with them. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, there's free apps on your phone. You could even like delete that stuff.
Or when they forget the fucking date. That's the one that makes me laugh. Yeah. When you forget the date or the venue address on your flyer, go home.
Yeah.
But honestly, there's a couple catfishes too. Sometimes it could be like a tremendously great flyer, and then you go to the show, and the show is just fucking trash.
Yes.
It's a no-name podcast. I ain't giving no names, but I'm just saying. Like some of y'all fools, y'all pulling a lot of money on y'all shit, but you know, you gotta stop hiring that fucking meth head ass talent you got, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you gotta stop hiring Flippy Green Shoes Cheeseburger over here talking about like, yeah, baby, and we're gonna hit you with the Gordita Slam and Arriba. I'm like, first of all, why are you trying to speak the worst Spanish I ever heard in my life with the most countryest of twangs?
Yeah, there's some towns that are bad and some towns are super bad.
Yeah. We were talking before the podcast about just people just being like bad, just horrible people in the wrestling industry, and me just talking about just quality control in pro wrestling, especially Indiana and Chicago, because there's a lot of motherfuckers, dog. There's a lot of fools out here. There's one in particular, but you know, there's a no-name podcast. But like, if he's looking at this, I'm pretty sure he's looking at this. It's just despicable. Every time this fool doesn't get booked because he's a shitty ass drug addict and he's a shitty ass human being and abuser, he feels the need to get personal with people, try to hijack shows, try to want to beat people up. All I gotta say, you dealing with the wrong group of people, especially me. Like I'll hit you with something, like most definitely something sharp.
So, I'll hit you with somebody. I'll throw a motherfucker at you. That's what I'm gonna fucking do.
We got Yo-Yo. He's the littlest guy I know.
Exactly. So I'm gonna be like, put your legs up, yo. No, for real. Like, I feel you. Because we were talking about how despicable this business can be, but to address that particular thing first, you can come if you want to, but you ain't gonna leave the same. You know.
No.
You got a lot of people that are about it. You got a lot of people that are crazy, and you got a lot of people that are just having really bad fucking days on this roster. And so if you think you're gonna come into our show, into our house, into our home, and you're gonna be with the shits, you're gonna find out that you not even the shits. You that little Hershey squirt that won't flush. And so you got to take the little scrub brush and you got to scrub it, but it marinate there a little too long, and you just let it leave. Yeah, that's what you are. You ain't even this shit. So like, calm the fuck down before you get calmed down, and you're not gonna like the way that we do it, because you got some crazy, like I said, you got crazy motherfuckers, you got about it people, and you got people that just got some bad fucking days, and they will take all their fucking aggression out on you.
The good majority of our roster has all those combined. So yeah,
and a lot of us carry guns. You know what I mean? So like your mindset of trying to hijack a show, for one, you're not even allowed in the building. Two, if you're just waiting outside trying to heckle people, that's not going to end well. We got people that know jujitsu. We got people that are legit cops. We got people that just conceal carry all day, and like, you know what I mean. And you got people that could really fight, and we ain't got time for no druggy. You know what I'm saying? Quality control, and that's legit what's going to happen. Because like like these people gotta go, bro. Because when it comes down to like people bullying talent and people bullying people's like spouses and bullying their ex-spouses, that's no good. Like the people that still book them and have them as like their booker or their agents, like shame on you.
It's
So
that carny shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's that carny shit, but it's
People
just
who
like
allow that man are pure trash.
yeah, and it's like if you vouch for that type of person, that means you're that type of person, or you guys got the same drug dealer.
Yeah, one of the two. One of
But
the
then
two.
you still that type of person though. Like I look at it this way, right? As much as I love this business, I hate it. And I have to. I have to love this business as much as I hate it. Because if I don't, then I can get consumed by it.
And
Because
crushed
if
by
you
it.
just hate the business, then you'll get consumed by it and you'll be bitter. If you just love the business, you'll get consumed by it and you'll fall into the carny shit. You'll never see the shit that's wrong with it. You'll be blind to it. You gotta hate it as much as you love it. Because when you hate it as much as you love it, you have that balance of being able to see shit, you know, real eyes, realize, realize, you know, you got to be able to see the shit that they're saying. You got to be able to see the shit that's being promoted and pushed to you. And it's honestly, it's that carny fuck shit that's really was holding us back. You know, I talked about earlier about, you know, eating, you know, my mindset of eating. If people didn't have fucking egos, if people wasn't on that carny shit and stroking each other's fucking egos, if people wasn't on that boys club bullshit or we got to protect the business so what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room, but then we're going to pretend like your living room is also the locker room because we're vets, and like you wouldn't believe some of the shit that I've heard. I heard a story here in Ohio where a veteran wrestler was harassing another wrestler's wife, and at their house, mind you, and when the wrestler pretty much was like, yo, you can't do that, he pretty much was like, do you know who you talking to? I'm still a veteran, you know.
What?
This is still like a locker room, you know, with all when all the boys are here and all the whatever, and we're at the after party. The after party is still the locker room, so you got to still show respect. You used to go and proceeded to try to blackball this wrestler in other places. But what's crazy is this same wrestler that was trying to blackball, you know, this wrestler in other places is also the same one of the same wrestlers that got called out during the speaking out movement for harassment and other stuff.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that some of the people for years have been the white knights, and they like they'd never done anything bad. Were actually the ones that usually were doing the worst shit at times. It's kind of like when you throw skeletons into other people's closets, and you're calling them out, but yet you're the one who has the most skeletons in your closet. Look at Joey Ryan, prime example. Joey Ryan was doing that a lot to people, all the clout chasing.
Oh
And
yeah, he was the. If any black wrestlers are losing bookings due to the Black Lives Matter movement, hit me up and I'll make sure that I'll get you booked. And then you hear that stuff about him.
Like,
David Starr was one of the biggest ones that was advocating creating a wrestlers union.
yeah, and he's a scumbag.
It's just you gotta hate this business as much as you love it, because for real, there's so much wrong with this business, and I truly feel like, and this is life. It is the things that we hate that cause us to change things for the better. Somebody had to hate how the world was enough to create the civil rights movement. Somebody had to hate how the world was enough to, create the verdict of Roe v. Wade. Somebody had to hate how the world was enough to do simple shit like learn how to fly, or actually to have the ability to fly and make planes and shit, to have fucking telephone devices that can connect to you anywhere in the world without having to plug shit in. Like, it all started with there was a problem that you saw and you hated that problem enough you decided to change it. With all the carny shit that we're talking about right now, if enough people got the fuck together and decided, man, we really hate this shit, and we just pushed all the bad fuckers out of the business, We made it so that they couldn't get back in and run, or they could whatever. Like, no, like, because I get people don't like checks and balances, which is why, you know, people don't like the whole gun law shit and background checks or whatever. But the thing is, there's a reason behind that shit. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying there's a reason behind why people want that. Not saying that's the thing to do. Not saying that's not the thing to do. There's a reason behind it. I feel like there should be fucking background checks in wrestling. I
Mhm.
feel like it should be when you decide you want to get trained, there should be a background check, and then there should be a yearly background check. You know, after like how people get their fucking wrestling license renewed in certain areas, there should be a fucking background check of how you've been arrested. Do you have any priors? Have you been beating on women? Have you been out here fucking snorting cocaine and bath salts and turned into a zombie and bit somebody's fucking face off? Like, there needs to be checks and balances to this shit, because I hate to say it, but since the beginning of professional wrestling, it's been the Wild West. And the issue is the Wild West is starting to deteriorate because the world around us is evolving and isn't the Wild West no more. And we're behind the fucking times, you know? And yeah, I'm not saying the world around us is much better, because before the speaking out movement was the Me Too movement. But what I'm getting at is the fact that people look at wrestling with such a really bad mindset, whether it was the 80s, the 90s, or the now, the crap that goes viral or whatever. People look at wrestling as, they'll say, oh, that fake stuff, or oh, that violent stuff, or oh, that overly sexual stuff, or oh, isn't that the stuff that Hulk Hogan was attached to, or Chris Benoit was attached to? Isn't that the stuff James Ellsworth was attached to? What about all that speaking out? If we don't make it better and we don't change the narrative, we're always going to be behind the times. We're always going to get viewed the way we get viewed. And it's not going to get any better. We're not going to get any better. We're not going to grow. And that's all life is learning and growing. Once you stop growing and once you stop learning, you are no longer living, you're simply existing. And I don't
God
know
damn.
about y'all, but I ain't trying to exist.
Live.
Yeah. We living heavy, man. God damn, man. You man.
Philosopher. Straight up.
God damn. Paragon, bro. This might be the top episode. God damn. The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
man,
Of all the
Y'all
guests we've
put
had,
people in
like him and
trunks so
Vic,
they won't
man, both
watch it.
dropped a lot of knowledge.
man, you dropping mad knowledge, dog. Like for real. I hope a lot of motherfuckers listen to this shit.
They need to.
Yeah, cause hopefully on vacation I get to chop all these episodes up and put them on our Facebook and do our thing. I haven't had time, bro. I'm busy as fuck, bro.
I feel you,
I'm
man.
always going, dog. And looking
Yeah,
at this
you
match,
be out here making moves, man. You be making moves. I be seeing you.
I'm
I be
trying,
seeing
man.
you.
I'm trying, man. You got two like my motto. I got 24 hours in a day, man. I just gotta make something happen. If
I
I
feel you.
only sleep for 4 of those 24, I think I accomplished something.
Yeah,
So
I've been rewatching Luke Cage, and I like in the first season there's this character called Pop, and Pop has this catchphrase where he says, "Always forward, forward always." And I'm trying to apply that shit to life, man. You know,
Never
like
been
there's
better.
been people in this business, you know, that I had legit heat with, and it wasn't just because. And here's the thing: I hate childish heat. I hate childish heat of I didn't like the fact that this guy came in here and didn't help set up and tear down the ring. I may not know the full story, but I don't give a damn. So I don't like that's bullshit. I don't like the fact that he seems really confident in himself for a young black guy. So I fuck this guy. No, go fuck yourself. Go fall onto a dildo that has a rocket. No, I'm talking about I'm talking about actual heat. I'm talking about real heat. I'm talking about like you were manipulating people, you were using people, you were doing like foul shit. And there was somebody in this business who, you know, was supposed to be a mentor. They were supposed to be a big brother to me. They're supposed to be family to me. And they were a manipulator. They were a user. They did me very wrong. And initially, I had heat with them. I was angry. I was frustrated. I would, I heard they were bad mouthing me in places I wasn't even at. And so I wanted to, and I'm like, at this point, you know what? Got to move forward. You know, I got to move past it. They are being able to sleep at night. You feel me? They're being able to live with how they treated me, and how they treated other people. I got to be able to live with me. And since I got to be able to live with me, I got to just move the fuck on. I gotta move forward. Unless your name is Steve, then I got to move forward by putting your ass in another fucking trunk. But
Man.
no, it's like, but with that mentality, then I took that, applied it to other stuff. Like with certain wrestling promotions, there's certain promotions that I gave a lot to. I gave a lot of dedication. I gave a lot of love. I did everything I could for them. You know, but there's times where you got to realize, it's time to move forward. Because if a place can't pay your rate, or if they don't have a plan for you, or if you're just realizing like, man, I'm the best person in this locker room and I probably shouldn't be. So I need to find a new locker room where I can start from the ground up. Because to me, that's also the most important. You never want to be the best person wherever you're at. You always want to be working towards being the best person.
I have a
I
question
feel like if
for you.
you said
I was
what?
trying to cut you off. Well, I have a question for you when you're done. What you have to say?
I don't know. What's the question, baby? What's the question?
Okay. So every wrestler, in my opinion, should always have a good 5-year plan or an escape plan when they're done with the business. What is yours?
So for my 5-year plan in the business, or my 5-year plan after the business?
A little bit of both.
All right. So in the next 5 years, and I'm gonna kind of intertwine this, right? The next 5 years, I want to be married. The Paragon wants to settle down, baby. I want to have little purple ones running around. But because that's my thing. Before wrestling, I also do music. So before wrestling, before music, I feel like my purpose on this earth is to, one, help people, and two, be a dad.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like I was put on this earth for. And I want to be a dad. I want to be able to not only bring life into this world, but I want to be everything that I didn't get to have, or everything that was missing when I was growing up. I want to be able to be my kid's superhero and make good on that. You feel me? Um, but with that also being said, I want to get to a point where, whether I make it to TV or not, whether I get a contract or not, I want to be able to get back to a place where wrestling's paying my bills. Because before the pandemic happened, wrestling was paying at least 2 or 3 of them things a month. You know, so I would love to get back to that. I would love to get back to the point where I want it to be back to the position where wrestling feels like it's at least a part-time job. You feel me? But I would say that's going to be probably the next 2 years. In the next 3 to 5 years, I would want to be doing this full time. I don't want to be working in the position that I'm at anymore. I don't want to be doing my business endeavors. I can't go into some of the stuff because people be snitching. but yeah, I want to be able to do this full time. I want to be able to take this show on the road. I want to be able to, though I have a home base, I want to be able to constantly be going.
Shit, I posted my 5-year plan fucking like 2 days ago. Shit.
Oh yeah, I saw. You know.
And I'm pretty sure there's people who's like, you fucking shut the fuck up.
They don't know. They don't know what they're talking about, because you know what, you a real one and you put the work in. I believe it's gonna happen. But yeah, like I give what I call big goals, little goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. So those are a lot of big goals that I'm talking about. Some of my smaller goals, I do want to wrestle outside the country. So Canada, Mexico, UK, Japan, Australia, whatever may have you. You might think, aren't those big goals? I'm like, no, because I feel like they're going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to those ones. I have a list of wrestlers that I want to wrestle, not because, oh, would it be great for my resume? No, because I feel like I'll learn. A lot of people want to get their ego stroked when they wrestle. I want to get better. You feel me? To me, the highest echelon of professional wrestler, who was the greatest all-around wrestler in every single category, was Eddie Guerrero. I want to be at least a third of as good as he was. That's a goal for me. That's a 5-year plan for me. For the next 5 years, if I can be 1/3 as good as he is. But in order to do so, I got to be able to wrestle people, who have that je ne sais quoi, that have that knowledge, that have that ability to push me to be my best. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like I have a list of people that I want to take that list down, which I've been doing pretty well so far. I was able to knock Darius Lockhart off my list. I need to run that one back though. Next month I'll be going toe to toe with Suge D, which I've been wanting that match since 2018. A lot of people don't realize this, but my very first independent wrestling match I ever saw, like I didn't even know independent wrestling was a thing until I saw this match. And the first match I saw was actually a Sugar Dunkerton match. And so
Which
being
match
able
was
to oh man, I want to say it was like Sugar Dunkerton versus like Johnny Gargano and Jason Bane or something like that. Like it
Oh
was some
shit.
like old school like like I want to say it was like a promotion that was like on like public access in Ohio or some shit
Oh,
like that.
it's it was Pro Wrestling Ohio, I believe.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Because I would
yeah.
say once I said Jason Bane, I'm like, that dude don't even wrestle no more. He used to do this, the Bane line. That was his finish.
I
Yeah,
used to.
hell, hell of a talent back in the days too.
This is Ohio, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I used to do like music wise. I used to like go to Ohio all the time. I used to go to I think it's like Lakewood or Lockwood, Ohio.
Lakewood.
Lakewood, yeah. I used to perform in this place called the Foundry, and like I like Ohio, man. I've never seen wrestling there, but like I like it. I like the vibe of like their nightlife. Y'all got crazy ass nightlife.
Well, the best place to go. Hold on, let me plug this in for it. The best place to go for nightlife in Ohio is the Cleveland area. That's
Okay.
what I would say. Because I am currently in the Columbus area, and that mug closes at like 10 p.m.
Nah, I can't do
I
that,
can't
man.
stand. I can't stand it. I'm
I
from
can't.
Cleveland. I'm used to the city closing at 4 and reopening back up at 6.
Yes.
So
Oh, that promotion by the way is Pro Wrestling Prime in
Pro
Ohio.
Wrestling Prime.
Yeah, PWO or
Yeah.
Prime. Yeah, that was a promotion you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I called the match for Suge D for Black Wrestlers Matter, man. Like fucking amazing dude.
Him
man.
and Kenny Alfonso, right?
Yeah. Like real shit, like real dope ass dude. Like just talking to him before the match and shit, like trying to get his information. Like he's really into his shit, man.
And it was great about him is like you can learn so much. Like chilling with Suge D for me is like what people might feel when they like sit with Chris Loken or when they like sit with Marche Rocket. You know, it's like you can learn so much. They are just like a wealth of knowledge. And what's dope about Suge D is he's willing to give that if you're willing to learn and listen. You got a lot of yeah but guys in wrestling. You got a lot of people that just want to get their 2 cents in because they just want you to stroke their egos. But if you're willing to shut the hell up and listen to what he got to say, he can definitely teach you something that can not only help make you better, but then it can help make those around you better because now he gave you something that now you can give to somebody else.
Hell yeah. Motherfucking shout out to Suge D. Hopefully you whoop his ass, you know?
Oh, I'm tapping him the fuck out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's trying to come for my throne, which is here's my thing, right? Because he tried to call me out. So at this particular promotion, my very first match there was his very last match there until this past weekend. And while he was gone, I pretty much carried that company on my back. He was in the UK and then the pandemic and stuff happened, but while he was gone, I carried that company on my back. Not Shane Mercer, not Anthony Toatelli, not Jeremy Hadley, not Jake Carter, not Calvin Tankman. Me. I carried that company on my back. You feel me? And so he comes back, and what nobody happier to see him back with me. But then he tries to J. Cole me and be like, come in, little man, let me talk to you. Invites me in the ring and pretty much says, would you still have that undefeated streak if I was gone? Had I not left, would you have that undefeated streak? Would you be this electrifying big deal that everybody thinks that you are had I not left? And he tried to pretty much tell me, like, I'm coming for your US title. We're going to find out between the two of us who's the most electric, and daddy's home now. and what's yours is mine. And I said, well, that's funny because you say daddy's home, right? But while you went to go pick up your carton of cigarettes and that carton of milk, step zaddy had to step up. I'm like, I had to take care of mama, make sure she was straight. I had to get the kids up to school and make sure that they were straight. And so now you want to step into place that you ain't paid rent in almost 3 years, and you want to talk about daddy's home? Psh, I don't see your name on this lease. And so we're gonna have a fun one. We're gonna have a fun one. I got some promos in the store because I'm gonna be heading to not this coming week, but the following week, I'm gonna be heading to South Carolina, and I'm gonna be on the beach. And so I got a lot of promos in store.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Austin.
You want to be to Austin?
Yeah, I'm going to Austin, so I'm gonna film some of my promos out there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be over here laying on the beach with the title belt.
What, Austin?
Yeah,
I've been to Austin before.
Good music town, man.
But I ain't been to Austin like as a wrestler, because I'm trying to like get some work out there. Because there's a beer pong tournament. There's a whole like beer pong is a $5,000 beer pong tournament. I'm going out there with the Chicago beer pong boys, but like there's wrestling out there. I love so I'm gonna try to wrestle or try to at least train. Like if I get a training session on a Friday out in Austin, I could say I wrestled. I did something.
Just message our boy Scott.
Yeah. He told me to message him. I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna probably hit him up tomorrow.
Shit. Make sure you cut them promos, man. Make sure. So when I tell you, I'm gonna be up on the beach I'm gonna have a title belt right here. I'm gonna be laid on a lawn chair, and I'm gonna be like, so I was talking to my girl right here, and she didn't like the way that she was looking at her, shit. And I know you know how to take care of a woman, so I know that you have to protect her by any means necessary. And I will protect her and make sure she stays right where she wants to stay. Because I won't say that, she belongs to me. That's rude. You never tell a woman she belongs to you. But see, she said that those are her words. She said she belongs to me. And so I'm gonna make sure she stays right where she feels she belongs. Shit. I'm gonna be in the bed with the silk sheets and stuff.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna have my lady laying on one side, the belt laying on the other side, and I'm like, now I know you're used to 3 ways, but probably not like this, huh? Should.
Man, Jesus fucking Christ! I might have to. If this is in Ohio,
I'm gonna cut these in South Carolina.
No, I'm talking about the match.
Oh no, it's in Indiana. It's gonna be in Indiana.
Oh, I might have to just show up as a fan. I ain't trying to get no booking or anything, but I'm gonna show up as a fan because I kind of want to see. I really want to see this match.
Well, hey man, if you need me to, I could try to put a word in. Because trust and believe. This is a place where you would dominate. I will say though, it is a very PG show.
I could do PG, but like it's just one of those things. Like I always like love when people like speak, like put in a word for me, but at the same time, I try my damnedest to put in a word in for myself. You know what I mean? It's just like I hate asking people for shit because like I like working for you. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. You didn't ask. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You did work for it. Your work is speaking for itself. Your work is so prominent and it stands out. That is why your actions are speaking. I'm like, yo, I've seen this dude wrestle. Yeah. You're not asking. That's the thing. There are many wrestlers that they don't have to ask me, can you put in a word for me? They're just dope people, and I'll put in words for me. Even for places I don't even work for. There's a company in Ohio called War, right? War to me is the top company in Ohio, at least as of right now, because they're currently still running shows and whatnot due to all the pandemic or whatever. And I've straight up said, like, hey, these wrestlers right here, they would benefit and they would do great for your show, whatever you need. But here's the thing. I don't work for War that often. Now, granted, the owner of the company, he's a reference of mine because I do say, and I will say this to wrestlers as well, get yourself references. Find a promoter, a booker, somebody who is respected that you also respect, that you think that they can help, potentially get you a booking when you send out your emails or whatever like that. But yeah, I have references that I send out, and he's a reference of mine, but I don't work for him, Yeah. But the thing is, I'll definitely say like, hey, I think there's somebody that can help your show be better. Because once again, it's about making the business better. That's what it's all about. And you didn't ask. You don't have to ask. because as you said, you're trying to, put in that good word for yourself. Well, you did. It's the work that you put in, which is why I'm like, yo, you need this guy on your show.
Hell yeah. But sometimes there'll be some motherfuckers that I think a couple months ago, somebody used me as a reference and I ain't even a friend. He was like, oh, my buddy Ewokk. I was like, I don't even know you, bro. We ain't even friends, dog. I didn't think I met you once and shook your hand. And
Yeah,
it's
I had a
like,
So we
wrestler.
homies.
I had a wrestler ask me about the same thing too, man. He was like, "Can I put you down as a reference?" I'm like, "Did you ever work for me?" No. Then why should I be your reference? Like, I don't know how you work. Like, do you come into the show sober? Do you actually show up and do the job? Like, there's some guys, man, they'll if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile straight up in this business.
Give them a rope, they want to be a cowboy.
Hell yeah. They end up hanging themselves.
oh shit.
This is my house, guys. This is my house.
Oh man. Shit.
What the fuck is Gouda Google?
Oh shit. Fuck, man. Like I asked this, this is my question I asked everybody. What do you feel is missing in professional wrestling, like modern day professional wrestling? And everybody normally says the same case, it's the same thing.
What do I think is missing? My first mind wanted to say storytelling. That's what my first mind wanted to say. Nobody really wants to tell stories anymore. They just want to go out there and do moves. But honestly, if I'm being 100%, what's missing in wrestling is the fans. We used to have fans that were actual fans. They weren't fans, but they thought they knew shit. They weren't fans that, I'm gonna be a fan this week, but if you do what I don't like, I'm not gonna be a fan next week. No, like we have fans that actually care, and that's our fault too, because when we exposed too much shit on one end, and on the other end, we didn't give them a reason to care about shit. But no, I would say fans is a big part of what I feel like is missing in wrestling. If you look at fandoms and stuff like that, when it comes to fandoms, you'll see some fans, they'll fight you over some shit, Like I've seen somebody like jokingly say like, yo, like Luke Skywalker was my favorite wizard in Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, that's 3 fucking things you said wrong, I'm gonna kill you. Like I love that shit. I love that shit. But the thing is though, they're also able to, appreciate their differences. It could be like, oh, you became a Harry Potter fan because you saw the movies first. I became a Harry Potter fan because I read the books. It doesn't matter how we became fans. It's a matter of how, it's not how we got here. We're both here. Whereas with wrestling fans, the ones that did stick around long enough, they'll be the ones that are like, I've been watching wrestling since I was like 2 years old, and my first match that I watched was Rocky Maivia at Survivor Series. So, oh, that's cool. Well, and like, my first match I ever watched was John Cena versus CM Punk when I was around 12. Oh, so that's when you started watching wrestling. Why are you mad at how I got here instead of just happy that I'm here? I feel like, I feel like fans are a big thing that's missing. I feel like a big thing that's missing is just loving wrestling, enjoying wrestling, allowing wrestling to just be what it is, and just coming back. I see like right now Money in the Bank is on and there's fans in the audience and it's a beautiful thing. I've gone to indie shows and fans are back and it's a beautiful thing. I feel like if there's something that we can do to make wrestling mainstream again, because we used to be mainstream, we used to be pop culture. Now we're market culture. We're niche culture. If there's something we can do to get back to pop culture, there's something that we can do to get back to being mainstream, to make people care again. We get those fans back. Yeah, you'll have the wrestlers that don't want to do the storytelling, they just want to do the moves. Yeah, you'll have the wrestlers that, can't cut a promo. Yeah, you may not have the Monday Night Wars again because one group is too tough, or may have a situation where I don't care. But once the fans are back, that's gonna make all the difference. Yeah. do.
He looks like a dweeb now. He's just
Yeah, he looks all small and skinny and stuff.
God damn it, he looks like me now.
At least he cut his hair though, because the whole news anchor hair wasn't doing it for him.
Yeah.
See if he takes the hat off.
Yeah, if he takes the hat off and he has news anchor hair, I'm gonna laugh. Are you watching at all, John?
I'm just watching you guys do commentary over it and laughing.
Oh yeah, we've got.
Oh man.
So I take Cena as back.
Yes.
Yeah, he just interrupted Roman.
Pretty sure Goldberg's coming Monday.
And I really don't. Nobody wanted. We asked for Brock and we got Goldberg. We wanted Brock versus Lashley, not Goldberg.
Yeah.
But once again,
Brock versus Lashley is the dream match everyone wanted to see.
Oh, he's got a bald spot in the back of his head.
Yep. Yeah. That's probably why he was rocking the news anchor hair for so long. He didn't want people seeing that bald spot.
The older he's gotten, more it looks like Ernest P. World now. So
that's funny.
Yeah, he's low-key got the news anchor still a little bit, but you know, yeah. He's over here rocking the Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Over here looking like he's got the right stuff. The right stuff. Over here, his old Mark Wahlberg head ass out here looking like Donnie's older brother.
Oh shit.
But no, like, yeah, I feel like the fans. I feel like we get the fans back. That's gonna make all the difference. You know, you can give the oh well, it's the storytelling. Oh, it's caring about the moves. Oh, it's whatever. Get the fans back. That shit won't matter anymore. You know, because I always feel like there's stuff in wrestling that's missing. You know, like I look at like I was talking to John, I think like maybe 2 months ago, and I was like, what do you think is missing in wrestling? Whether it's character wise or what type of wrestler is missing? And we both were like, well, they're not here yet, you know?
Yeah.
We won't know until they're here, you know, because once upon a time what was missing in wrestling was Ewokk. Once upon a time what was missing in wrestling was Paragon. Once upon a time what was missing in wrestling was Jay Storm and Chris Moore and The Rock and Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. And we can go down the list of all these wrestlers that they were the thing that was missing until they stepped on the scene. But even after they stepped on the scene, there was still something missing because there still had to be something to come after them. And so what do you think is missing?
Shit, I always say character. Characters are missing. Nobody like a lot of people are carbon copies. Everybody's like ain't nothing wrong with being serious, but at the same time, everybody just kind of stale. It's like
everybody wants to be the badass. That's the problem. Everybody wants to be a badass.
You know what also is an issue? I feel like people are like purposely being generic now.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason is because they're like, I want my wrestling to speak for itself mentality, which doesn't necessarily work. Or they're looking at guys like Stone Cold or The Rock or Roman Reigns, and they're like, well, what really was their character? They just wore black and they didn't, they were just larger than life personalities. They weren't actually a gimmick or whatever. It's like, well, if you look deeper than that, you'll see there was one, you know.
Like with Austin had such a connection to the crowd, like the working class, blue collar type of guys. Doesn't matter if you're a white guy, black guy, brown, yellow, didn't matter.
And if you said that was his connection, but that wasn't his character.
It was his character, but his connection was, got him over.
Yeah, his character was, I'm the badass that does whatever I want. The Rock, for the longest time, he kept calling himself the people's champ, but what did that really mean until, he got that connection with the crowd, but then he became Hollywood Rock, and that kind of was what his gimmick was. But I feel like a lot of guys are like, I don't have to have a character. I can just be good at wrestling and have a pro wrestling ass name, like Flippy Green Shoes Cheeseburger. That's my thing. Me and Jay Storm were on a Facebook Live one time, and somebody asked us what we thought was missing in wrestling, and we brought up both character and storytelling. And the running joke is like, you'll have some dude coming to the ring, weighing in at 175 pounds, Flippy Cheeseburger Green Shoes, and his finisher is the shooting Flippy Green Cheeseburger. And it's because it's like, because people are more obsessed with the moves. People are more obsessed with the, hey, I'm popping the guys or whatever. And it's like, no, we could, pop the audience. We could make them care. We could have
I think
something
they're
for them to invest in. Like, be a brand at least. If you're not gonna have a character, or because like as my trainer says, don't be a character, have character. So if you're not gonna have a gimmick, if you're not gonna have a persona, if you're not gonna have a character, at least have a fucking brand. Because the thing is, The Rock, whether you understood what his gimmick was or not, he had a brand, he had a logo. Stone Cold, he had a brand, he had a logo. Like, have a fucking brand, my guy.
Yeah, I feel like people just, I don't know, they see ain't nothing wrong with New Japan, but like I love New Japan, but like people see like their Shibatas and all these. I was like, yo, you got to realize like that sports based wrestling shit works in Japan. It's like I love that. I love all sports based wrestling, but I'm still the Ewok. You know what I mean? But like people kind of get everything misconstrued. It's like, oh, maybe I need to be serious. No, like you got to realize you're in a locker room full of characters and you want to be just plain Jane. No, be a character, be you. You're a funny guy behind the scenes.
And also, here's the thing: you might, your favorite in New Japan might, be sports based, but who's the motherfucker that's over? Who's the motherfucker that's champion or selling tickets? In my opinion, I look at the fucking Rainmaker. That's a fucking gimmick right there, or a persona.
Yeah.
He's not wearing all black. He's not, I don't, my thing is I'm a great wrestler and I just beat ass. Like, no, like he actually has the whole, like, shoot, I make it rain on these motherfuckers, whether it's a reign of terror, whether it's a reign of money, whether it's on rain of fucking clothesline. Like, there's still something there. And so, yeah, your favorite may not be doing all that other shit, but at the same time, what's your favorite doing? And it's not me trying to knock your favorite, because once again, like a buddy of mine is a huge Dean Malenko fan. He loves Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko is his guy. My guy's Eddie. I look at Eddie as somebody who had a personality, somebody who had flash and flair to him without having to do a whole bunch. He had a gimmick, he had a whatever. But then I look at Dean Malenko, man of 1,000 holds. Okay. The Iceman. Okay. Submission specialist, technical wrestler. Okay. But what can I sink into? What's the marketability? What's even your logo? What's your brand? What's your outside of I wrestle well? Because I hate to say it, but there's also many other dudes on this roster that also wrestle well. Because for every Dean Malenko, there was also Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn. I can keep going. Or they can wrestle, but can they work? Or they can work, but can they wrestle? I can do both. Okay. Can you cut a promo? Can you sell tickets? Can you put asses in seats? Can you move merchandise? Do you have something we can put on merchandise to be moved? Like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, have a brand, do something. It's an easy fucking way to make yourself money. Like, I'm over here now. Like, I don't know if you guys, I wear gloves in the ring and shit like that. I'm at the point where I'm trying to find somebody who can make replica gloves that I can sell at fucking shows and shit.
Oh, that'd be raw as fuck.
It's a fucking brand, it's branding.
That's raw as fuck, bro. Shit, man. Any last words? Where can we find you? Like what is your Twitter handles? What's your Facebook and all that stuff? MySpace, if you got it. Hinge.
Hey, I ain't on Hinge. Don't let my lady see this. Man, like, you on Hinge still? That's where we met. So don't do it. But on Facebook, my Facebook page, Paragon, go like it. If you're cool people, you can go to my personal page, which is Paragon Christoph St. James. I like to treat everybody like family. So as long as you're not an asshole, you can be on there. But also be smart. Like, if you got a Confederate flag in your background, or you saying Blue Lives Matter and shit like that, like don't even, why you waste the time to even like try to add me? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's just the waste of your time. And I gotta read it and I might block you. I don't even need that in my life right now. You can find me on Twitter, Snapchat, and PlayStation for the Paragon 23. So if y'all want to add me on PSN, and then you can find me on Instagram at _Paragon. as well as Paragon Motivation. So that's also on Instagram. I also now promote motivational stuff. I like to motivate people. I'm on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok. I get bored. I do impressions. I sometimes sing. I sometimes motivate, and I sometimes roast people. That's what I'm also gonna do. Because sometimes somebody gonna be out here built like a grocery bag full of spoiled milk, and they want to talk about how like you gonna come and get it. I want to come and get the police and have them remove you off my property out here looking gross like that. That's disgusting. Out here just committed a crime to my eyes. I didn't need that today. So you can find me on TikTok as well. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this. I mean, I'll leave y'all with this. This is to wrestling. This is to life. This is to whatever. Do better. Be better. You know, be the best version of you. Be the best version of you that you can possibly be. And honestly, just keep growing into the version of you that you're supposed to be. You know, I put on Facebook yesterday, and some of y'all that are watching this might see it. You can either be who others said you were going to be, or you can be who you promised them and yourself you were going to be. So I challenge y'all who are watching this to be who you promised yourself you were going to be. Whether that's yourself now, whether that's your younger self, the little kid version of you that you know had hopes and dreams and stuff. Do what you got to do to be where you want to be.
Shit, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And John, any last words, any last thoughts?
Oh man, it's always good when we talk to Paragon, and once again, another episode with good knowledge, good jokes, good stories, a mix of everything. So man, we've been knocking out of the ballpark with our guests coming up, and
Hell yeah.
man, it's one of the better podcasts. And Paragon, thank you for joining us and always dropping the wisdom and also just being one of our guys, man.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
I would love you, dude.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of the Ewokk and JB show with our guest Paragon. You know how I do it with the motherfucking peace.